Previously on Syrvivor. The two swap tribes competed in a World Cup challenge where New Body came out victorious, sending New Soul to their first tribal council. There, Mike and Ryan plotted to blindside Holly due to her well-positioned stance in the game. However, the bag was fumbled when Jason deviated from the plan and sent himself home. 13 are left. Who will be voted out next?
I am so shocked right now. Really thankful that it wasn't me this week, but it was so close. So now I'm just kind of trying to piece together what exactly happened. And I'm really crossing my fingers we win today because I have a feeling I'm going to be the next to go if we don't.
Why are you confused? Because what was the vote breakdown?
No, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't understand. Y'all had to figure what to do. I don't know who voted for who, but I just don't get it, really.
I'm so confused what happened. We had 4 votes for Holly. Even in the worst case scenario that we could have planned, we had 4 votes for Holly. And I don't know who's lying because I really trust, if I'm saying right now, I think Zach, because I believe Mike, and I don't know about that. I thought I believe Mike. I think Lindsay's the only one I really trust right now. I really was beginning to trust people, and that vote just completely went not how I thought it was going to be, and I'm scared now for how I'm scared. I have no idea what's going on, so.
I felt so good with you guys.
I'm very confused where that vote for Sabrina came from.
I was confused where it all came from.
Clearly, I outsmarted myself. I kind of roll with this though. I don't know who voted for Sabrina, but I'm not in a terrible spot because there is still suspicion about the Holly Cassidy line. So if anything, I can deny, or I can tell the truth. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm gunning for that challenge win, whatever it is. Welcome back, guys. Final 13. Over 1/3 of the way there. We started with 21, now we're down to 13. This game is ticking. New Body, you're getting your first look at the New Soul tribe. Jason voted out at the last tribal council. Joe, what's your view on Jason going home?
It kind of scares me a little bit because I felt like he was such a dominant player. He really did good in challenges. So to see him go is kind of scary, and also as an old body tribe, it sucks to see one of your own going. So sad news.
Lindsay, what's your view on the tribal and what's your view for this upcoming challenge?
That was probably the most I'm still just processing. That was probably the most confusing tribal that's happened on Syrvivor Syracuse, period. That was weird. I need more time to think.
It just means we have to win today. I really just hope it motivates each of us to perform well today, just so we don't have to go through that again.
So, with 13 left, the tribal lines, if there still are tribal lines, are 4 Old Soul, 4 Old Mind, and 5 Old Body. Are you guys ready to figure out your next challenge? Alright, so. Oh, before that, I'll take that back. Immunity is back up for grabs. If you don't get this, the person going to tribal will vote out the 9th person out of this game. That said, are you guys ready to figure out your next challenge? Alright, so this challenge is a 2-parter. I will explain and we will do the first part, then we'll reconvene and then I'll explain the second part. So the first part, Ryan, you might be familiar with this, is memory of Syrvivor Syracuse. So one by one person from each tribe will go with Casey and Jake. They have a list of 8 questions they're going to ask you pertaining to this season. If you get 6 out of 8, 75% right, you earn a point for your tribe. That said, since New Body has 7 members, Neutral, you will be sitting out 1 person. After all 8 people are done, I will reveal who on the tribe got the point, aka who on the tribe got 75% of the questions right. At the end of that, that's the end of part 1, then I'll explain part 2 and go from there. So, before we start, New Soul will be sitting out. Zach, you can just sit somewhere in the middle, I'll join you in a second. Who'll be going first? Carl.
We're just gonna go down the
No, we're trying to do the same.
So, first question. What color marker did you use to sign the board first challenge? What color marker did you use to sign the board at the first challenge? How many torches were at the finish line of the Survivor Amazing Race Challenge?
I mean, I better be right on this one. I would hope.
Wait. I'm allowed to take some time on this, right? Or no, a little bit? Okay.
Yeah.
At the challenge, right? Like the challenge itself.
Yes. At the finish line.
Like up at the water tower.
Right? Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me see. Okay. How many torches were at the finish line of the Survivor Amazing Race Challenge? Okay, so how much were the first object women's Tivas in the second challenge, Survivor Price is Right?
I'm assuming you have to get like the actual price.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. How much were the women's Tivas priced at in the Survivor's Price is Right challenge?
Oh my god.
What was the name of the third challenge? Okay. What was the name of the third challenge of the season? How many minutes were left in when the greedy challenge ended? Greedy challenge.
How many minutes were left in the greedy challenge when it ended?
Is it just the front number or like within a minute?
Yeah, within a minute.
What color were the bags that held your tribe of buffs in the greedy challenge? What color were the bags that held your tribe buffs before the greedy challenge?
For the results, I'll go from tribe to tribe. For the new Sole tribe, there was only one person who qualified, which was Mike. And for the new body tribe, there was also only one person that qualified, which was Carl. So after the first part of this challenge, the score is 1-1, deadlock tie. So yeah. For the second part of the challenge, it'll not be today. Instead, the second part of the challenge will go for the entire week. What that means is, it's 7 to 6, so you have to sit out with another person. And this challenge is called You Up. For this challenge, you know your guys' individual tribe groups. At random points throughout the week, I will send a prompt. Send a picture of a stapler. Based on the timestamp, whichever tribe gets the stapler picture to me first gets that point. Alright? There could be as many prompts, it could be at any time from now to Friday. So at Tribal Council on Friday, both tribes will be asked questions, both tribes will vote. Then I'll reveal who won the challenge, and then I'll reveal the votes for the tribe that lost. Someone will be the ninth person voted out.
Currently sitting in Zoom class and I can't focus because all I can think about is Luke sending a challenge, and I missed the one last night because they sent it at like 3 a.m. and I don't think anyone on my tribe got it. So I'm crossing my fingers that no one on body got it either, but we'll see. Hope he sends one soon.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z, Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, B, A.
Why did they give him $3 million? The way to fix climate change is to plant lots of trees.
I want immaculate water, immaculate air.
$3 million. And the way to fix the pandemic is to get football back into America. Thank you.
I thought I had a foolproof plan, and I fooled myself more so. I thought of every scenario except Jason not voting for the right person. I assumed that he knew that he was supposed to vote Holly, and he just did not. And now I'm here, all fingers pointing at me, having to get all fingers pointing away at me. It's embarrassing how terribly I played that. And season Kumi would be really disappointed right now. I let paranoia get the best of me. Oh my god. Why'd I sit out? I didn't even think of this. I just played myself out of this game. I'm talking to my roommate right now. One thing I had to do was compete in this challenge, and even though I'm the worst person to do the challenge since I'm so busy this week, I'm the only one that I can really rely on right now. Besides, well, I'm gonna have to ask Sabrina to just try and go ham on the challenge because she's the only one that I know wants to work with me right now. Ryan somewhat trusts me. I showed him texts. The only other person that I can pin on is Zach. I have to get them to think it was Zach.
I voted Jason like I said I was gonna, to like kind of keep the secret of me and Mike's alliance, which, you know, it did. Like, no one still knows about it, which is awesome. But Jason's the one that went home, which was not the plan for those who developed the plan. For example, Ryan Baker and whoever else he talked to it about. So, that's gonna be kind of a shitstorm for the rest of this week, because now we still have to prepare for Tribal, even though we don't really know if we lost the challenge yet or anything. And I talked to Mike, he talked to Holly, and they're chilling now, so that's good. Hopefully we can all vote together or something, come to some sort of conclusion. But what that conclusion is, I don't know yet. What we talked about so far was maybe vote out Zach, only because at the Tribal, after the Tribal, he just kind of yelled out at the end, well, I voted for Holly, blah blah blah, whatever. Maybe because of that, I don't know. But besides all that, I'm low-key scared of Ryan. He's really controlling our tribe, and I just don't I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. Good night, Survivor.
I have a little break in my Zoom class right now, so I decided to vlog because what else would I do during a break in my Zoom class? Anyway, I have been texting Cassidy, Lindsay, and Holly a lot this week. Holly really wants to work with us. She explained to me that she has wanted to work with me and that she really didn't want to vote me out. And she also understood why we voted for her, and that it was a good, it was a game move ultimately. Anyway, we have not come to a conclusion onto who threw the vote last week, who voted Jason and not Holly. And why Jason voted Sabrina, no insight onto that. I did talk to Mike multiple times, quite honestly, a little suspicious. I didn't really get a good answer. He said he FaceTimed Jason, so he had no text receipts as to telling Jason to do that, but that was his responsibility. His job last week was to make sure Jason voted for Holly, and it didn't happen. So we are very confused. I just heard from Holly that apparently Mike threw out my name. So after I just talked to him for a second time this week, so he's not exactly winning back my trust right now. And I thought we had a good conversation, and I said I'd fill you in. I said, dude, I want to work with you, but right now I need a reason to trust you. And the fact that he was so quick to go literally text and FaceTime Holly right after, because he doesn't realize we're working together at the extent that we actually are right now. In fact, he just quickly texted her and threw my name out there.
Just a little midweek update vlog. I have talked with Holly and Cass and Ryan this week about what our plan is for this upcoming vote, because unfortunately both teams do have to vote this week. So we have to go through that whole mental process of trying to figure out if we have enough votes, who we're voting for, who's aligned with who. And I think right now everyone's still really shaken up on trust, on who they can trust after last week. So this is going to be a tough week. That being said, I talked to Ryan and Holly, and I think the plan seems to be to vote Mike at this point in time. Obviously, we hope that our votes will never have to be read, but I think right now that's the target, is Mike.
There hasn't been much game talk, but I am talking to Ryan and Lindsay in an hour or something, and I'm going to hear what they have to say about this vote. But from what I've heard, they want to vote out Zach, which I can get on board with, I don't really have any close alliances on this tribe except for Mike, but that's still very, very hush hush. But what my goal to do for this upcoming tribal, if we do have to vote someone out, is I need to keep Mike in this game, because he would be very, very good to have around in the merge, because I will reunite with the Mind people, and they are pretty tight with Madison from what it seems like. And I think the 6 of us could really do something cool in this game.
But so Kevin's talking to us about who they've been thinking, so you share what y'all have been thinking.
Well, right now the consensus with at least Lydia and Carl is Joe, and even Owen and Madison, they're saying Joe, but I don't know if it's really gonna be Joe. And I don't know, it's sus. It's really weird. I don't trust any of them.
I definitely don't think it's gonna be Joe, because he texted me Sunday at 8:30 p.m. I'm not sure if we can get anyone from Old Mind to flip, but right now it's probably Lydia. And he said it straight up might be a tie though, because I think they want Joe out. So not him.
No, and that's so tea, because they...
And I said, shit, I really hope it's not Joe. I want our quad, which is what we called our alliance, past the merge. And he said, dude, me too. So there's no way he's gonna want Joe out. And then I talked to Joe.
See, I knew it. And Lydia and them didn't believe me. They were Lydia was oh no, they definitely want Joe out. No, I knew their asses were lying. And now I feel dumb, because...
Oh, should I not have told you that? Did you want Joe out?
No, I don't want Joe out. I don't want Joe out. I was honestly thinking of doing a plan with Joe. I was with our FaceTime, I was maybe I should think of a plan that'll make sure Joe doesn't go out. But then now, clearly Joe isn't going out. Yeah. But then when I was talking to Owen, I was he was who would you want out of the Old Minds? And I was kind of just giving him a name to make him seem I'm trustworthy. I was probably Carl. I would probably want to vote out Carl over Lydia. But now I fucked up.
Joe says Lydia too. I'm our text messages from, I'm scrolling. Oh, okay. He's talking about post-merge right now, and he's I think I want to make it you, me, Kevin, Owen, and maybe 1 or 2 more. So he wants to work with you long term. And then, thank you, Joe. And then I brought up Lydia because I didn't remember if I was talking to you or Owen about it, but he said, I want to send Lydia home. I don't trust her, and obviously in physical challenges, she severely underperforms. So,
That's not nice. She actually performs pretty well.
Really?
She
I don't know
performs.
anything,
I feel like she's
but-
at the same par as me. Like, and I. So that does not bode well for
He
me.
did say she plays the game hard. So he said, I just think if Lydia makes post-merger, it's a situation where you have to vote, where you have her around to vote someone out.
Yeah.
Like the only reason he would want to keep her around is to have like a swing vote.
Yeah.
Owen just FaceTimed me and I am honestly shook. He said that last night Kevin called him, said that Kevin put out my name. And not randomly, not awkwardly. He said Kevin put out my name after he said Joe. I am so confused. I thought I could trust Kevin 100%. Now, I just don't know. Like, now I need to go and figure out if this information's real. What the hell is going on? But I think I trust Owen. I certainly don't think he would tell me this just to tell me this, and I'm really scared about not just this vote, but the game moving forward. I don't like how much I'm hearing my name come up. I don't like that my own allies are tossing my name out, and I am very worried. I just don't know what I did to Kevin. I thought we had a great relationship. I thought we were doing dandy. And now he's tossing out my name. There's 4 minds left. What is he doing? This just ain't it.
The plan worked to perfection. Carl is paranoid as fuck, and for good reason. Whenever someone throws your name out, it's just like, oh god, why? And you want to deflect to the nearest possible person. I gave Carl a name. I gave Carl a name that gave me a name, and that name was Carl. And that's the scariest thing, is now that Carl is like paranoid about Kevin, and going into the merge, like the OG Mind team or whatever, like, dude, their numbers are dwindling at this point. Who does Carl really have left but me? And I tried to vouch for Madison, saying she's super trustworthy and stuff, because honestly, I think it'd be cool to go to the end with her, just because we worked, so well so far. But Madison lied about the Kevin thing. Why lie? Why lie? It's either you or Joe. Carl trusts me the most still, and that's a fact. There's no way that if I wanted to, in his eyes, there's no way that I would want him out by telling him this information. Telling him this information is an instant, get out of jail free card for me, which is optimal gameplay.
A lot, but Kevin was talking to Owen because Kevin doesn't know. He doesn't know that they're presumably serious about being willing to vote out Joe. Both of them have literally brought up the name before me and Carl and I were like, oh, perfect, we don't have to argue with you about why it should be Joe instead of Kevin. And Owen literally, I guess, straight up was just Joe to Kevin when he talked to Kevin, and Kevin didn't believe him. He thought it was kind of sus, and he actually threw Carl's name, which freaked Owen out. And then Owen told Carl, and Carl freaked out the other night, and Carl called me, and he was like, oh my god, do you think Kevin's gunning for me, blah 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 blah. And I had to FaceTime Kevin and try to get Kevin to tell me if he said that or not, or if Owen was just effing with us. And Kevin did in fact say that, so I went back to Carl and I was like, oh, but Kevin was just trying to F with the other people, even though it's only that's mostly true. But it was actually in terms of he'd rather pull me than Carl, which is nice, but I don't like that Owen knows that Carl wanted me, and I don't like that Owen knows that Kevin wanted me also, because that means presumably Madison knows that I'm desirable, I guess, for an alliance to keep with people. And if I'm close with multiple people, I know it's too early to really worry about this, but being super close to other people, I don't know, if people are gonna vote for you if you make it to the end, people might not want to take you, that kind of thing. But let's just focus one vote at a time, 1 week at a time.
Okay, done.
An eerie sight, for my monster's slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast. The ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode. They did the mash. They did the monster mash. The monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. They did the mash. It caught on in a flash. They did the mash.
Hi, Luke. That's the current time, 2:35. We are talking about the game. We're planning on voting out Mike. Really excited. Sorry, Mike. Holly, me, Ryan, Lindsay, and Zach are all teaming up together, and Sabrina. We're currently getting some coffee because we're both taking naps when the last text came in. But yeah, I'm not excited for Tribal, but I've been liking this challenge.
Oh my god. I'm crying.
Did you fully get up and leave?
Who's that? Is that Sabrina?
Hell, you've done it. Where'd you come from? Oh my god, everyone.
Come on. 4, I promise.
confiscate the monies.
One thing that really scares me about the challenge is just the idea that, like, we have to vote someone out even if we win. We don't know if we win until we're there, so that's nerve-wracking because I feel like now we just got into a spot in body where we feel comfortable with all the members. Now we have to break alliances, figure out, like, oh, who's voting for who and whatever, and that could be super dangerous. I just really hope it's not me. Like, no, that's the dream. We want to make it to the merger. Yeah, so, in that in mind, I started scheming. But, I started talking to people on the other tribe, like, you know, new soul or new mind, whatever. Yeah, so started talking to him. Started talking to Holly more. Had to figure out what happened at their tribal, because seeing Jason go out was like a fucking wild card. Like, honestly, I would have thought if anyone's going out, it was probably gonna be like Zach, Cassidy, Lindsay, like one of them. But then, like, you know, after I got to tea, I was just very interested that the fact that Holly was so close to getting out and that Jason was so close to getting out.
We got tribal tomorrow. We got to vote no matter what.
Yeah,
it's very important. And based on who's not here,
Yeah.
Process of elimination on that one.
Obviously, we want to see like everyone going into the merge. Like that would be optimal, but like how realistic is that?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if we won this and then the merge happened, I think like we'd be in a good spot going forward. Like, I don't know though. Like just in case this week, you know, I think Joe's the best option.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need some type of plan, because if we don't have a plan, like weird shit's gonna happen. So it's best just to be on the same page. Also, it's nice because like this week's stressful enough with this challenge and like staying up and all that, and so just have a vote that feels like a little bit easier and just like it's a little calm, which is nice because I feel like we've had such chaotic votes up until this point on this tribe. So like this week's way less stressful.
What do you guys think we should have like a plan for like how we answer questions so we don't like I don't know. We could throw the other tribe off.
I've been thinking that I might try to make it seem like I'm in a little bit of danger. Not like really explicit, but just be like a little worried just because I am hoping at some point that I can reach out to Ryan Baker and he'll start talking to me. Just because like we run in the same circles. So it'd be good if I could just make him at least think going into the merge, like I might go over there. Because I also know that I think he trusts Sabrina too. And so like maybe that's a way forward, but like I'm just trying to figure out the best ways to get this group moving in, because like these are the people I know I want to work with. So
facts.
After a lot of deliberation and talking with Lindsay and Cassidy, and they were talking to Holly, that we think that Mike was the one who didn't vote in our favor, and the reason is because that the reason that really convinced us was because Holly told sorry guys, a little flustered right now. Holly told Jason to vote Sabrina, and he did. I'm 99% sure that the vote for Sabrina was from Jason, because he truly didn't know any better. Which tells all of us that Mike never told Jason to vote for Holly, which was all along what he was supposed to do. And then not only did he not tell Jason to vote for Holly, but then he threw his vote at Jason. And I'm a little confused as to why he would do that, to be perfectly honest. I don't know why. We have not figured that out yet. However, all I know is that I no longer trust him.
I just FaceTimed Mike and he's like really panicking. And he's like, yeah, I talked to Ryan, and Ryan like alluded to me possibly being voted out this week. And I was like, no, I think you're good, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're still voting Zach, even though Mike's going home, hopefully. And then Mike like threw out the idea of voting Ryan out. He's like, yeah, I mean, if you and me and I try and get Sabrina to vote and then Cass will vote with you, right? And I'm like, yeah, but like we probably shouldn't go Ryan this week, because he's like, that would just like everything would go up into flames. So I'm like kind of worried that Mike is going to end up reaching out to Sabrina, and all of us have already told Sabrina that like we're probably voting Mike. So I'm just like crossing my fingers that Sabrina doesn't tell him anything, because I know they've like kind of messaged in the past, but I don't know like how tight they are. So yeah, that's what's happening.
I'm starting to get really worried because the way that everything's shaping up is that Mike would be the one voted out, but like as we know from my previous vlogs, I do not want that. I just like really don't know what else I can do to help him. I mean, I think I'm going to try to reach out to Holly and see what she thinks about this whole scenario, because we are just so close to the merge, and like I really don't want to fuck up my chances of getting there based off of how this vote goes if our votes are read out loud. Because Ryan doesn't trust Mike, because Mike went along with the lie that he's been telling all week where he should have just come clean. I really hope it's not too late for him to come clean so that we could just vote Zach out.
Me, Ryan, Lindsay, and Holly have basically been talking all week about how we don't trust Mike, we want to get him out, and I think that he kind of is getting a sense of that. He's definitely concerned and has expressed that concern to Holly, but we're telling him that we're voting Zach. So we've told Zach that his name is, if the votes are read out, that his name is gonna be mentioned. So he already knows not to be concerned about that, but Holly just ran into Mike on the quad, and I guess he said that if he gets any inkling that people are voting for him, that he's gonna try and pull some strings and defend himself and convince people to flip. So I think that this is gonna be a really interesting tribal. I honestly don't trust Mike. I think that he's playing a shady game, and I want him out if he's gonna play like that, but I'm really nervous about what he's gonna say at Tribal. I think that this is gonna be very interesting, because he's been throwing a lot of names out there this week. He's thrown out Zach's name, he's thrown out Ryan's name, and yeah, he's desperate.
Okay, so I'm on my way to Tribal right now. I'm being told the plan is Zach, and if it does come out, if we do end up losing the challenge and Zach does go home, this would be a huge turnaround. What I thought was gonna happen after what happened last week with that disaster, and I think I'll have some new life in this game. I think I'll be able to work with the fact that Sole would be broken up at that point. They still have a strong 3 there, but it does weaken them moving forward in the game. And I'll still be here, and hopefully I'll have some new people to work with, because we're joining together soon.
So we have tribal council right now, really, and I don't feel safe. I don't really know what it is, how to describe it, but I have this gut feeling that we're going to see my name more than once tonight. So Ryan's already told me that he and Holly have told Mike, who is our target, to vote for me, that I'm the dummy vote. I just have a really bad feeling that, you know, given last week how chaotic it was and how out of hands things got, that the same thing could absolutely happen again. So I think it's very likely I play my idol today. It's been sitting in my pocket for a long time. I just don't want to go home with it in my pocket. I mean, maybe I'll be really wrong and I'll only see the one vote for me, like we talked about, maybe even none. I just don't want to be the fool who goes home with it in his pocket. I don't want that to be me. So I think I'm gonna have to play it today, and we're gonna have to go on the hunt for a new one if we lose again. That's the plan.
Final 13. We're here together, joint tribal. Very interesting challenge this week. Hope you guys had fun. The board had fun watching your videos and your selfies, that's for sure. And we'll take a look at those later. But as you know, tribal council will work differently this time around. Both tribes are here. Both tribes will be questioned together, and each of the tribes will hear that answer to that question. That said, both tribes will vote. Both tribes will have the opportunity to play an advantage for anyone but only the losing tribe's votes will be read, and one person will be the 9th person voted out of this game. All right, let's start it up. So Lydia, you guys have been through many challenges this season, including stressful ones like Greedy, probably this one. How has the season affected you as a whole up to this point?
As a whole? I mean, I'd say like in general, I'm kind of doing it. I'm not gonna lie, my like grades are like lagging a little bit because maybe I'm getting like a little too into it. No, but like I have been having fun. Like it's like really fun to be able to like not having competed against other people. That's high school stuff.
Hopefully it is stressful, but hopefully it is fun. At the same time stressful. Hopefully you guys are having fun. A person who's played before, Ryan. So has this season been different than season 1? What has been different? How are you feeling for season 3?
Well, definitely the start was very different. We didn't have 3 tribes to start in season 1, and so I wasn't really expecting that, but honestly it added a cool new dynamic to the game, especially when those 3 merged into 2. So that was totally something different. I would say the dynamic is fairly similar. I think I've always gotten along very well with the people in my tribes. I don't know if it's just, everyone's been very friendly, and I'm fortunate about that. So I have had a very great experience this season though so far.
So let's talk about the tribe swap while we have everyone here. Sabrina, you find yourself on this new solo tribe, the only mind again. Your fellow mind people are over there though. Do you feel like this many weeks in from the swap, do you feel like you're in a good sitting even though you're the only mind person there?
I think like we were saying last week, like a lot of tribe lines, like original tribe lines have kind of dissolved. So I'm feeling better than like when we initially swapped, but it is Survivor, so anything can happen. But I can say that I'm feeling a little bit better like now than before because I have been able to talk to everyone here and they're all really cool people.
So Madison, let's talk about that challenge real quick. First we had the memory part. Both teams ended up with 1 point equal, and then we had the U Up challenge. In total, there were 31 prompts sent from Sunday to 2 p.m. today. Madison, what was your view? Did you have fun with it? Do you think you guys won?
I'm feeling good. Like I know our tribe had a lot of fun with it. It wasn't just all like, you gotta go do that. We tried to make the best of the situation. I definitely think there were some late nights that might hit the morale a little bit, but I'm feeling good going into
Now on this side, Lindsay, 31 prompts. How did it feel being, 1, that you had to plan for this vote, but 2, at any moment, at any time, a text could be coming your way?
I think it was really fun. Like I said at the end of the last challenge, like when you read what the challenge was gonna be, I just thought like that's really funny. So I had a good time with it, but I was definitely caught in some situations. Like the book on the head one, as you know, I jumped out of the shower to do it because I had my notifications on. Tuesday night, I ran to the steps of Hendrix, sprinted from all the way down Euclid from my best friend's 21st birthday, and then ran back. And I was on aux, so that was really unfortunate for the entire situation. But yeah, ultimately it was really fun, and like someone over there just said, like it was also a team effort. Like we would always text each other about the prompts and be like, who has this, who has what, like foreign currency, like does Monopoly money count, like whatever. So it was a really fun challenge overall, I'd say.
Awesome. Oh, and you heard a little bit about Lindsay's determination, leaving a 21-year-old birthday party to go to the quad and dance to Miley Cyrus Party in the USA. Owen, did you have a strategy as a team coming into this challenge? Because it is a team game, even though you guys are sending it individually.
Yeah, I think we had kind of a vague understanding of when everyone on the team would be available to do this challenge. And I mean, sacrifices were definitely made. That's a big one. I know we definitely made a lot of sacrifices, and I think this ultimately brought us together like closer as a team. thriving in the chaos a little bit. Because the last few weeks have been kind of rough. This is just a really fun challenge.
Joe, what was your view on the challenge? And do you think Owen was right? It did make you guys closer because you had to communicate throughout this week.
I think like the challenge was like kind of rough at times because like I remember like rampaging through my entire room trying to find my sunglasses which are in my car. And like it took like the whole week for my room to recover from that. But overall it was like really fun because like you would communicate over like those late night texts of like, oh, how are we gonna do this? Well, like definitely like a lot of like fun pictures or like back and forth in videos. It was just like kind of amusing, just like laughing at ourselves while also thinking about how like to do a challenge before.
Now, recalling back to the previous challenge before that was the memory. Mike, you got the memory challenge for your tribe, but you chose to, either you chose or your team decided to sit out during this portion of the challenge. What was the view behind that decision?
So I would have loved to compete in this. It looked like a lot of fun. I was seeing them talking over Snapchat, like, who's got this, like they worked so well together, and I wish I could have done it. My main thinking behind it, I mean, I love to compete, but I knew I would have put my tribe at a disadvantage this week. All of yesterday, I was in ENT clinic, hospital. I wouldn't have been able to answer a single prompt. And it really came down to, I also had like 4 assignments this week. I would have weakened them. So I told myself I'd just sit out.
So Zach, you hear a bit of new body strategy. There were some prompts that were sent at like 3 a.m., 5 a.m. Do you think your team stands a good chance against theirs?
I really do. I mean, it's obvious that we have one more member than them, so that just gives us an advantage right off the bat. But there were very few prompts where we were more than 5 minutes late to it. We were quick on top of everything. You know, if 2 or 3 people were busy in class, couldn't check their phone, 3 or 4 other people would step up and figure it out. You know, we were really good. We worked well together, good communication, so I'm optimistic.
Cassidy, so let's talk about why we're here. Now, in the midst of that challenge, you also had to talk to your tribe mates about a vote. Both tribes will be voting. How difficult was that to focus on the challenge, but also focus on this vote?
It was definitely hard because, like everybody was saying, I think this challenge really brought us all together. So obviously, having to kind of figure out things with votes and stuff, that it's never easy when you're bonding so much with people, and also it was just very stressful. Like whenever I would get a text, my heart would just race a lot, and it was very stressful. But I think it just added to like the chaos of this week. And yeah, what was a fun thing with the challenge, it made it not fun, like kind of dreading the fact that we all still had to go here.
So Holly, now talking about this vote, how do you plan with this vote? Do you look back at previous tribal councils and try to do something with that? Or there's also that dialect, like what happened at that tribal council, if you want to share that, but at the same time, they're right there.
Last tribal council, especially for me, was a nightmare because I don't know if you guys know, like I almost got sent home and I was not expecting that. So I like specifically was feeling like I didn't know who to trust this week. I definitely like feel a lot better now. I mean, I think just in terms of like old tribe lines, like we've all kind of crossed over that, like we're one big tribe now, and like it's just, I don't know, it's been hard, but I am feeling a lot better. And I think if we do end up like voting someone off today, I'm gonna be like really sad no matter what happens, but yeah.
Madison. So the interesting about this tribal for the first time ever in Syrvivor Syracuse is you get to listen in and also vote and also participate in tribal while hearing some information on this side. So you just heard that Holly, last tribal council, almost got taken home. Now, you and Holly were in a previous body tribe. Now, do you want to say what happened in your previous tribal council, or do you want to withhold that information? And how do you make up your mind with that question?
I think the last tribal council that we went to was kind of like everyone working as a cohesive unit, and I just wanted to make the team stronger. So doesn't sound like that one had nearly as much drama as yours did, but sorry to hear about that. But I think we all feel good about what happened during that vote.
Anyways, with information and with both tribes talking to each other here, there's a person that's going to be going home today. Now, if that person is nervous, they could easily spell out information and try to pull someone to save them if there's an advantage. Sabrina, even though you might feel that you're in with this new soul tribe, you are still the only mind. Are you nervous in any way that you would want to spill any information that you might have?
I feel like I don't really have that much information that would like sway one way or another, because like I am still like not in like a solid place, I guess, like as the only blind person, even though like we do work as like one big tribe. I'm always just like a little bit like scared and like this, like something's happening behind my back or blah blah blah, and that is my answer.
So Mike, where do we take the stance here? Is it kind of just like up in the air, believe what you believe?
It seems like it's going that way this week. I feel like this vote is going to be very telling for either tribe who goes on what the dynamics are, and I really think that we're in a weird point in this game where I feel like a lot of people feel in limbo right now. There are a lot of people who do not know where people stand, and I think that goes for both tribes. So it's going to be very, very telling what happens.
Cassidy, so you were on the previous Soul Tribe with Lindsay, Ryan, and Zach, all in your tribe right now. However, mind and body have relationships on both sides. Do you account for that at all when thinking about what to do for this vote?
I mean, I think it's definitely important. Obviously, like if people are talking with each other, a merge is coming up soon, so that's definitely like something to keep in mind. But I don't know, it really just depends. That was a hard question. But yeah, I think it is obviously something to keep in mind, but it doesn't necessarily like mean a whole lot. It really just depends.
Kevin, do you plan for any advantage cross-tribal? That's wild to say, but it could happen. Do you plan for that?
No. Maybe other people do, but not. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would hope not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Zach, so with 3 idols at max in this game, how wild would it be to have an idol play today, not only on oneself, but on someone on another team?
I mean, it'd be huge if someone played it for somebody on a different team. I mean, it is getting to that point where you're expecting to see one sooner or later. I mean, but yeah, it absolutely could change the entire swing of a vote if someone throw an idol down.
Holly, how big is trust right now, Final 13 merge movement?
Trust is like all I have right now, especially after what happened last week, because I was just so shaken up. So like I'm feeling okay, but there's still that, thought in the back of my mind, like what if someone's playing me again and like I go home today? So like there's nothing I can do but trust people.
And Owen, moving forward, how do you think this vote will not only benefit or not only help, how do you think this vote will progress into the game and affect the game the entire way through?
I mean, like people have been saying, there's a lot of variables at play, the advantages, the idols, and we still don't know who won this challenge, so I think people are going to have to adapt instead of like plan. I think there's really no way to have a plan going forward, even with your team, and especially going into a merge, which is probably going to happen in the next, foreseeable future.
Well, does anyone have anything else to say before we vote? All right, it is now time to vote. New Soul, you'll be voting down there. New Body, you'll be crossing paths over there. And then after we vote, I will reveal who won the challenge, and then we'll proceed onwards from there.
brings me no joy to do this. Hopefully it doesn't come to the vote. Sorry, bro.
I won't be surprised if Madison from Holland to play Idol for Zach and then put it on me, but I'm always paranoid, so you never know.
Thank you guys for voting. The votes are casted. Now, before I tally the votes, I will announce who won this last week's challenge, the U Up challenge. Remember, we started 1-1 because of the memory, and we go from there, 31 prompts. I go one by one. For the first prompt, I asked you guys to take a video of you or a tribe member taking a cartwheel. Carl got that in first. 2-1, new body. I'll just say 5. Water bottle flip video, 2 consecutive flips. Sabrina got that one. 6-3 body. You hugging the tree, embracing nature. Kevin got that one. 7-5 body. Party in the USA and the Hendrix steps. Lindsay got that one. It was worth it.
Thank God,
8-7 body. 17th prompt. Balloon with a face on the balloon. Lydia got that one. 10-9 body. We're down to 3, which were sent at 9 a.m., then 12, then 1:30. That's what decided this challenge today. 29, video of Black Beatles trend. Lydia got that one. 16-15 body. Good luck. Taking a picture of yourself on Zoom. Holly got that one. 16-16 tie. Unreal. Comes down to the 31st and last prompt. 30 minutes before this challenge ended. The prompt was, take a video of yourself reciting the correct elimination word. For this challenge, thanks to Carl, new body, 17. That means, new body, you are safe. Your votes will not be read. New soul, you are not. Your votes will be read, and someone will be the 9th person voted out of the game. Mitch, bring in the votes. In this basket are just the New Soul Tribe's votes. That being said, new body, you still are participating, if you want, in this tribal. Now, I will recite the old adage, if anybody wants to play a hidden immunity idol for anyone, now is the time to do so.
I'm not going home with this. Better safe than sorry. I hope it doesn't mean anything, but better safe than sorry.
Zach, you are playing this for yourself. This is, in fact, an immunity idol. All votes for Zach will not count. Okay. If anybody else would like to play a hidden immunity idol for anyone, now is the time to do so.
I'm open to anyone giving me something.
Okay, I'll read the votes. First vote. Zach. Will not count. Mike. That's one vote, Mike. Mike. That's 2 votes, Mike. 3 votes. 5 votes left. Mike. That's 3 votes, Mike. 4 votes left. The 9th person voted out of Survivor Syracuse, Mind, Body, Soul, Mike. Mike, that's 4. That's enough. Mike. 12. Great tribal, great challenge. Something's expected, something's not. We'll see what happens in the next challenge.
Next time on Syrvivor. The merge has finally come, raising the heat in a game that has already been on fire. The castaways have to put their money where their mouth is, as they face a version of Survivor auction we've never seen before. Players who haven't worked together since before the swap are reintroduced to each other, but must determine where their true loyalties lie as alliances bloom and collapse in every direction.
Alright, obviously it sucks. I kind of was clued into it when I talked to Holly on the quad earlier today. Said I might blow up at Tribal, and then I got a text from Ryan confirming me that I'm fine. Very suspiciously timed. I did it to myself. I got way over paranoid last week. I knew that we had to win that immunity challenge. I knew me competing in it would be the worst case scenario because I would not have been able to do a bunch of the stuff. Really wish I didn't break my nose so I could have competed in that soccer challenge, and then I know we would have won that, and then we wouldn't even be in this situation right now, but I can't be mad. I can't blame anyone but myself. Don't have regrets. I don't regret how I voted last time. And with the information I had in my head, even though it was paranoia, I can't be sad about it.
So no hard feelings. Just hoping we don't lose. Love you, man. Rest in peace.
I had so much more left in me. I want to make merge, obviously. I think they're gonna merge soon. No regrets.